Welcome to Extra Throttle House. I'm Thomas.
And I'm James.
This is the Extra channel, where we review extra things like this.
In a more casual, one-take manner. So,
It's true.
this is a Mazda CX-50.
That's not like the CX-5.
No, this is not a CX-5. In fact, this has been a long-term loan, so I've had this for weeks. And
Right.
in that time, I've joined the CX-50 groups, well, one group, and all we do
How many can there be?
is we go and walk around and we spit on CX-5 owners.
Okay.
Because this is so superior and it's new, and people who have CX-5s are wondering if they need to trade to it. So I've got impressions. We'll get to them.
Can I just say, I think this is one of the best looking crossover things.
So we said that
available.
about the CX-5.
Yeah, this is better looking.
It somehow has got better looking, hasn't it?
It looks like a CX-5 that they've just like strengthened. Right?
Well,
It's good.
But you've been successfully marketed to this rugged thing.
Yeah.
The black cladding,
Yeah.
road clearance, which we make fun of. But I tell you what, as we hit the winter here in
Yeah.
Ontario, the feeling of wanting to dodge that snow block and not hitting that curb
Is nice.
Is quite nice.
Yeah, it is.
But yeah, as far as actual strength, I mean, there's been some Graham strategy. That's Mazda's thing.
Yeah, no, I really, really dig the front end styling. This is a huge design piece. I like how the hood feels like it's as high here as it is here. So it's got this like long,
But it's cheating.
Bonnet.
Because it's in Soul Red Crystal.
oh, it just looks so good in this color.
Yeah, like it's
Best red on the market, probably.
in the affordable price cars.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
But this can be had in zircon sand,
Wow.
which is the new color for 2023, which somehow the MX-5 also gets, but it doesn't get any other new colors. And then last year we got platinum quartz, which is also the color of dirt.
The problem, he has an issue, okay, with the MX-5 colors. I think you want it to come in seaman blue, don't you?
Let's not.
Oh, it's mariner blue.
Mariner blue.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do. But anyway, zircon sand on this looks good. And there's a Meridian edition, which is like a special edition, which has even more cladding, so it's even more rugged.
Yeah.
With 3 Gs, and it's got like black cladding, black cladding around here. It's got a Meridian thing. But
No, I think it's a great looking thing, but this is not, what platform is it on?
this is the Mazda 3 platform. This is not CX-5. CX-5
Right.
has independent rear suspension. It's got a different setup.
Right, this has the torsion
This
beam.
is the torsion beam.
Okay.
This has the same. This is a GT turbo trim. So this, as you're looking at it today,
Right.
is like $47,000 including delivery Canadian.
But this is like the mostest spec'd one that you can get.
Correct. So it's got
Okay.
the 2.5 litre turbo, which
Yep.
we've loved in the CX-5.
It's a good little motor. Can I drive this?
You can. Yeah.
I'm gonna go do it now, is that okay?
You do it.
Okay.
All right, in the CX-50,
Okay.
yeah. From the driver's seat, there is one thing you notice
Oh
immediately.
my God.
Yeah.
So, we talk a lot about steering being numb these days because of whatever reason, e-pass racks or whatever, but this immediately has the most feedback, I think, of any car I've driven this year.
I think of the two things, feedback versus weight. Weight is the first thing that makes itself obvious to me. It is so heavily weighted in a way that's incredibly divisive.
Yeah.
Like half the people who drive this absolutely hate. Some people, a lot of people, it's a complete deal breaker. Like this, no one asked for steering like this in a crossover from Mazda.
Okay, so I want to say that there's a thing that's going on here, and this is why it's divisive, is that some people think it's bad because it feels like it doesn't belong in a car like this. Like this bit right here, that takes quite a lot of effort.
It takes effort parallel parking in the city.
Yeah.
Like driving in town.
But here's the thing, objectively,
Yeah.
like pretend this is not steering in a CX-50. Pretend this is steering in a Lotus or a Porsche.
Yes.
You or we would say the steering itself is the best steering of any modern car.
Yes.
Doesn't mean it's the most accurate.
No.
That just means the feel and the feedback is the best. That's important,
But
right?
the fact that it's in this, half our
It's
team hates it.
weird.
My wife hates it.
It's weird in this. I will say
Yeah.
it is weird in this, but that doesn't stop it from being incredible steering in a modern
But there's
car.
things that stops you being able to do. So like just one hand driving around town relaxedly, figuring out where you're going. You can't one arm drive this without,
Yeah, there is like even
things that
it
you
just-
associate with a relaxing
But like,
crossover.
holy crap! It just, from an enthusiast perspective, like the way that it loads up there,
Yeah.
under like when I transfer weight over the front, it builds. Oh my God, it's just unbelievable.
No, from a driving dynamics perspective, This car is great, and there are some people who are going to be upset that it has the torsion beam versus the CX-5's independent rear suspension.
The ride isn't amazing, I've noticed.
No, the ride's not fantastic, but beyond
God,
that,
the steering, I'm sorry. It's just, it feels like you're in like a vintage sports car.
Yeah, and when you get on it,
weird.
you've got 227 horsepower.
So if I go into sport.
Yeah, the 2.5 litre turbo has 227 horsepower and 310 pound-feet of torque. Unless you fill it up with 93 octane.
Oh, right.
And then it's 256 horsepower.
Yes, Mazda does that.
320 pound-feet.
That's right, yeah.
I think, you know, and I don't want to go back on what we said in the past, but we have said that the non-turbo feels anemic. And that's in the CX-5. This might be different.
Yeah.
I think this is a great amount of power. You'd probably be fine with the non-turbo. It doesn't feel like a must.
You probably would, but there is a nice immediacy to the
Oh, it's
torque in
great.
this that's
And
really good.
Yeah, it's got the 6-speed. So like you look at things like the Santa Fe that has like the 8-speed wet clutch, which I think has had issues there. Didn't they all get recalled?
Something
Every
happened.
single
Yeah,
Hyundai with a dual clutch got recalled. That hasn't happened with the Mazdas yet, as far as I know.
Interesting. We've been driving an EV all day, and usually when you get out of an EV and into any gasoline-powered car, it feels dull. This doesn't. Like, there's like there's obviously a downshift, but then there's a nice wave of torque that feels like it's right there.
I think, you know, if the Santa Fe and the Tucsons of the world, or whichever one competes with this, they're all in between, so forgive me. The Hyundais, the Kias, they feel like baby Mercedes in philosophy, with the tech, the screens. This feels like a baby Macan in a way, right?
Interesting.
This almost looks Porsche here anyway.
Yeah, it does actually.
And we have a touchscreen for CarPlay. It's not touchscreen otherwise.
Oh.
But it's really far away. Like, stay in your position.
Yeah, that's
you
way
can't reach.
too far. But you can use this though, if you have to.
You can use that.
But it'd be nice if it was right here.
Yeah, they're trying to make you not use it.
Okay. Do I have to not use the thing that I use to listen to my music?
You have to not want to use it.
Okay.
You can.
Cool.
But the interior otherwise is, you know, again, it's kind of rugged. There's some hard plastics around.
This plastic, they took this right out of the mold for the Mazda 3 from 2 generations ago.
Yeah, and then the way this leather feels,
like.
it's soft, but it kind of looks loose.
Yeah, it's okay in here. I don't have a big issue with it, especially for a car that is not a luxury car. It isn't. But I just immediately felt the
torsion
the inside front wheel spinning through the steering wheel. Like it was immediate communication. And I don't mean to harp on about it. And I know that the steering is probably too heavy for the average buyer, but I think the official term for it is that everyone's being a little bitch.
No.
Because
people are allowed to want what they want.
They're allowed, but they've been conditioned to this light fake steering. It's this light. All cars felt like this at a point. And like when I look at what I feel like in a load, I know exactly what those front tires are doing.
The best steering for a car like this is Audi steering. If you could put the Audi steering in this.
Maybe, yeah, but Audi steering is pretty good at being just sharp and accurate, and you don't.
But listen, I think you're touching on something bigger, and I think that's the CX-50 doesn't, by the numbers and by the normal metrics of a crossover, it doesn't win. The CX-50 is an emotional decision. It's a way to have. The CX-5 is also the same. It's the most car-like to drive, where you get the ruggedness, you get the high off-the-roadness, and then if you do want to carve a canyon, this is going to do it really well. I had the CX-30 in LA with reverse gear, but great guys. And we drove the CX-30 when we stayed there for Car Week, which is a smaller version of this.
Yeah.
And it's great. Like, as a car, it feels more normal.
No, fair enough. And so, you're right, this does feel kind of a weird niche, because there's other cars that do the crossover thing, I think, better than this.
Well, we were just in the new CR-V, but that has a very anemic engine.
No, I would
take
CVT. I would take this over a CR-V just because of the engine.
Well, then there's the RAV4, which has some fun engine choices, and this doesn't have a hybrid. And like, we just got out of the Toyota Crown, and I loved the fact that as you touch the pedal, there's an immediate bit of like electric torque.
Yeah,
I think that's missing from this.
That is very nice.
This isn't a particularly refined engine. That doesn't sound particularly good.
No, it doesn't. But it's effective. I don't mind any part of it. And here's the thing. I think if you are, let's just say you're a person who must buy a crossover, you don't have a choice, and it's the only car that you can have.
Yes.
If you are a car enthusiast, and you're like, oh, well, I don't get to have a sports car, this is the one to get out of the affordable crossovers, because this feels the most like a sports car out of any of these little crossover things that are under 50
It does,
grand.
but it doesn't have the same level of tech as like the Hyundais and the Kias. So again, it's that choice. It doesn't win. You know, it might not have the best fuel economy. It doesn't have the most tech.
No.
But it does do the other stuff. I mean, it's reasonably spacious. I think like I sit in the back comfortably, and then Harrison, who's 6'6", has leg room but not headroom. Which is, I think, a similar situation for him in the CX-5. So, and then you've obviously got the trunk. So, I don't know, like, when I first got this, my first complaint was the seats. Because
the seats are weird. Okay, so you mentioned this before, and I sat in the car, didn't drive it.
Yeah.
And you said that there's like a strip that goes like up your butt crack.
It's like a ridge. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm feeling it today.
Yeah.
I didn't feel it before.
I feel like it should be opt-in.
I feel like I'm being credit carded.
I should be, yeah, exactly. It feels like someone's started swiping a credit card in your bum.
Yeah.
I have to be honest, on longer journeys, I forget about it.
Oh,
It doesn't get worse.
Okay,
it's just as I get in. And we have a beauty that the CR-V and the RAV4 don't really touch. And the all-wheel drive system in this, I remember when I drove the RAV4, the front wheels tried a lot before the rear wheel.
We haven't tested this, but it's been okay.
No, but if you floor a RAV4 from a light,
it does that.
it just it starts spinning the front wheels. This doesn't do that. So there are a lot of reasons to like this.
It is a very strange car though, right? Because it's like this weird kind of CX-5 thing on the 3 platform with like Lotus steering, like for Austin for some reason. I don't know. I don't know. Was it an accident that it feels the way that it does?
Well, we had a problem with the CX-5 steering in that I think we described it as one of those wind-up flashlights. They all have this loyalty to return to center, which it can be quite strange.
Out of all Mazda steering in the last at least 6 or 7 years, this is the best of all, including the Miata. Sorry. Look, put it this way: if this steering came in a Miata, the new Miata, I would buy one.
But it would make sense in that.
No, of course. It would make perfect sense, and that's what I'm saying. Like, if you put this, why is this in here?
Yeah.
Why does the front end of this car feel like this? Right? It's weird.
Again, like when it comes to like gauge cluster, for example, it's half digital inside the rings. It works perfectly fine.
That's nice. Yeah,
but that's
good.
Something where the other ones will win over. And the Bose sound system's pretty good. It's better than the JBLs and the Toyotas.
Yeah, I listened to it earlier. The Bose is actually, it's good enough.
Yeah.
The torsion beam, there's a lot of people are having an issue with it, and they're worried about it. No, it doesn't get the independent rear suspension. For the most part, you don't notice, but there have been a few instances where I'm pretty sure that it was the torsion beam rearing its ugly head, where you get those like side to side.
Yeah, I could feel it on
hits,
the side earlier.
right? So like that's kind of the only thing you're missing.
Yeah, and that's the CX-5 owner thing being superior. The other thing they get to be superior about, which is something we don't think about much.
So heavy here.
It's so heavy.
It's so heavy.
Like parallel parking that in the city, like imagine my wife 5'2", everything.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, the rear seats in this are 60-40, whereas in a CX-5 they're 40-20-40. Does that add up to 100? Yeah. So there's things like that where just like this hasn't come along and destroyed the CX-5. In fact, the CX-5, as far as I know, is being discontinued.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then what's coming is there's going to be, and this is, don't quote me, there's going to be like a CX-60 or a CX-70 that's going to get that inline 6-cylinder rear drive system.
Yes.
It's going to be the bigger car.
That's going to be interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, listen, if they make some sort of a sedan with an inline 6 rear drive with this steering,
yeah.
Oh my God, would I daily that?
A sedan though, not the
a sedan. If you made a sedan, inline 6 rear wheel drive with this steering, that's a BMW. It's just
why is this doubled? Why can't this just be one thing?
So that if I have my arm here, you can get in. That's why.
Not easily.
No, but you can though. You don't have to go. Excuse me.
Other crimes. Plenty of piano black going on.
There is.
Mazda loves that at the moment.
Yeah, they're all about it.
Yeah.
Oh my God, this feels so good.
Basically, if you want a rugged CX-5 that has worse rear suspension, better steering, and the same engine with better looks.
But hold on, better steering is a caveat, because no, it might not be, depending on who you are.
Depending on who you are.
Yeah. Sports car steering,
yeah. Which no one asked for.
Yeah.
Then this is the car for you.
This is the car for you. Huh. There is definitely a credit card on my butt, though.
Yeah. Sometimes when we hit a bump, I like it.